Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Today I'm going to cover outdoor wood burners, wood boilers. There's a lot of names for them. I'm going to give you the pros and cons. This is a friend of mine, and I always take care of his house when he goes away. And he goes away a lot, so I load this during the winter for him. He is using this to heat three structures, three houses, pretty much. One is his residence, another one is about a 1800 square foot pool house, and then another one is the guest house. The guest house is probably 900 square feet, and then his house is, I don't know, 2,000 plus square feet. So it's getting a lot of use. It's also heating indoor lap pool, so he works it. First I'm going to show you his wood storage. The key to this is wood storage. Having it readily available next to your boiler to make things easier. As you can see, he's used wood, so he'll have this refilled for next year. This is a really nice wood shed. It's all post and beam, big brackets, really big rafters, well built. The floor is designed so stuff will fall through it, as you're always getting bark and dirt and chips. So the wood is stored right next to the wood boiler itself. This is a little cabin he has. It keeps fire starters and other things in it. Sort of cool door. All it is some boards, and then just cut some sticks and nail them on or glue them onto the face. It looks cool. That area he keeps more kindling wood if he needs to get it started. He uses this cart. This is just like a hunter's cart. He's modified a little bit so he can just wheel it up there, get the wood, and wheel it right under here. Let me talk about, I'm not saying this is the best boiler out there. There's a lot of good boilers out here. But this is the one I'm showing you. This is really for energy independence. Yes, you do have to have wood. The owner of this one doesn't cut a lot of his own wood, but he buys it, and you might say, wow, that's defeating the purpose. He looks at it a little differently. He'd rather give his money to a local guy that lives in our community and cuts firewood, and he has a couple of guys that supply him, than to send this money to the Middle East, get oil. So he's keeping his money inside the community, giving it to local guys, which I think is much more important. Now, if you had a lot of property and you could cut your own firewood, you could eliminate that cost, but he'd rather have the cost given to local people. A lot of the wood is come from land clearers. When someone has to clear a home, for a home, the wood has to be cut down, the trees. So, you know, that's also good for the environment. So instead of wood going to the landfill, it's being cut up, split, and sold to local people. The advantages of this compared to having a wood stove. He does have a wood stove in his house as a backup in case this goes down, and I recommend that. You know, you don't have the by putting the wood in here, you don't have all the soot and smoke and mold and health problems. A lot of people can't handle a wood stove in the house. It might be their allergies or they're allergic to something. So the huge advantage to have it outside. This particular one is a gasification unit. So what it does is like reburns the gas. It does a few things. It definitely makes more heat from your wood, less pollution. This one's a little bit more finicky compared to a traditional one. A traditional one you can get away with a little bit more green wood, more wet wood. This one you need to have drier wood for sure, but it's a little bit more efficient. The advantage also is this is outside. Your fire is outside, not in your house. I respond to a lot of chimney fires, and usually it's the old chimney, poor design chimney, or someone's using a very old chimney with a wood stove, and the chimney itself is flawed, and we get a lot of fires. So this really is a lot safer than burning in the house. There is some disadvantages though. You're looking at, you need some electricity. There's some pumps on here. There's not a lot of moving parts here, and what you basically have is a firebox and you can put a lot of bigger logs that normally you'd have to split to get in your inside wood stove. You can throw bigger logs, bigger stuff, so it's really less splitting. Surrounding that firebox is a water jacket that holds water. That water is used to heat your house or heat your domestic water. Now that's not the water that you're drinking. All that is this hot water is going to run to a heat exchanger and then heat your domestic water. So really you can have unlimited amount of hot water with one of these. So that is a huge advantage. This does take electricity, so when the power goes off, if you don't have a generator, you're dead in the water. So that's why he has a wood stove in the house. His goal is to put solar on this. He could run his generator and run it, but trying to be more independent, and the solar will be helpful. Now this is going to push hot water into your house. You have to do something with that hot water. You can have it into a forced air heating system and use it that way, or the best way for preppers is a radiator that doesn't take any electricity, doesn't take anything. Just push that hot water through that radiator and the heat will radiate off the heater and warm the space. That is the best way. Because if not, yes, you'll lose power to this unit. You also lose power to your heating system in your house, so your fan, your blowers aren't going to work. So that causes a problem. But if you think ahead, you can definitely put some solar or a generator on those circuits and keep your outdoor burner running. It's a little bit more complicated, but he is heating a huge amount of structures, a huge amount of square foot with this. So basically underneath this he has a concrete slab, and then from here to his building he has a very well insulated pipe. It has a return and it has a supply, and it just circulates. It's a well insulated. Don't think, hey, I can build my own, I can insulate my own pipe. Buy the pipe that they provide. It is highly efficient. So he's got a slab under this. There's a lot of work. It's not, if you look at the price, you know, and the costs, that there's so many different costs in the sense of small units to big units, to different brands. Also think about the installation costs. There's a lot of work to installing one of these and hooking it up into your system. So pros and cons. I like them. I would rather have something in the house as a backup, especially if you're worried about an EMP event. There's stuff in here, electronics, that will be affected. So have one of these. It will save you a little bit of money if you can supply the wood, but also have something in the house as your backup plan. Thanks for watching.